Hello and welcome to the Busy Bug Homestead. So today we are going to be finally planting stuff outside in the soil. We are not in the seed room today, as you can tell, and I could not be more excited to be doing this today. So we've had a lot of bad winds, we've had up and down weather, and I played cautiously and did not put these in the ground just yet. Although our brassicas could handle the cold that we have had, I wanted to play it safe because these are my babies and I have been protecting them since January, I think is when I started, maybe February. So in this tray, I've got our premium flat leaf Dutch cabbage. I've got the red express cabbage and the anytime stock. I'm going to be putting that under a row cover to protect them from the cabbage loopers, along with our Waltham 29 broccoli, which I have behind me, and our amazing cauliflower and our purple of Sicily cauliflower. The only other thing going in this tent besides those things are going to be just some random smattering of onions to deter any other pests that might come up in the soil. And I will be covering it with a tent as soon as we're done. The reason I chose this particular spot in my yard is because I know it gets protection from the harsh sun in the midday. I wanted to make sure, because last year I planted in full sun all day long, they bolted real quick. So I wanted to make sure that they'd have all morning sun and part of the afternoon, and then as soon as that sun got real harsh, they'd have a nice protected shady spot to be in, which should make them happier and should extend my season just a tad bit longer. So we are going to be putting these in the ground. The only thing I am doing to the soil is adding a little bit of compost soil that I got. I believe it's Miracle Grow raised bed and in-ground soil. That is what I have to work with. I'm going to put that in the ground with these, and then once they start growing on a little bit, I will add some fertilizer to them. I will also be watering with a liquid fertilizer. I think I'm going to do every other week. We'll see. I've started my other cabbage on a system already, and I'm waiting to see how the liquid fertilizer works for them. This is my first year doing straight liquid fertilizer instead of giving them fertilizer, since I did plant them in December. And I did put some in the ground, but I'm pretty sure that's all washed out. We've had a lot of rain. Anyway, so let's get to it. I'm going to pop into like a time lapse and plant everything, and then we'll take a little tour around our little hoop house that we put up here. So I am going to wrap this video up real quick because we have more winds coming. So I actually planted most of this out 2 days ago. Lost the sunlight, intended on coming out the next morning to show you the planting. And then we got some severe wind. So I am going to be covering this tent with the net that I plan on having on it all season, because I'll tack that down and I can water right through it. And then I'm going to also be putting on a piece of plastic, greenhouse plastic, just until this crazy wind passes, because these are new plantings. They haven't had a chance to root in yet. Once they're rooted, they stick to that clay pretty good, which is why I think they like the clay the most, because they can stick in there and not really have an issue with the wind. And they do get kind of tall, you know, the broccoli plants and the cauliflower plants. My cabbage did not fit in the space, and I should have known better because I did the same exact thing last year. Why I don't prepare better and actually kind of count out my space, I don't know. But in this first section here, we have our broccoli, and in between each broccoli row, I have red onions planted in there. And the red onions, they'll grow up, but they won't interfere with the broccoli, but they will help deter pests that might get into the tent. And I did the same thing over here, except I skipped that center row because I was starting to get a little tired, and you could tell by the way that my row was not straight. Over here, straight. Over here, we're curving off to the side a little bit. It's okay. So I finished off the red onions I had over here. And then in this last section, I didn't plant any onions. The middle section, I should probably mention, is my purple of Sicily cauliflower. And then this last section is the amazing cauliflower. And on the very end down here, I put my stalk. Now I stuck the stalk in here because last year they did fall prey to the cabbage beetles and the cabbage worms and all the cabbage things. So they're in the tent this year, and I'm using them for cutting. So they're planted kind of close together. They'll be fine. Hopefully I get some flowers because I'm very excited for that. I have seen some budding on some of them. I don't remember which one, but I did put them in there. So I'm gonna have to find a new location for the cabbage, but that is going to wrap up this video. The only thing I'm going to do once I stop this camera is water these in really well. I'm going to cover the whole thing over, and then once the onions start getting established, I will put down a layer of chopped straw. I use the healthy straw. I use the farm one, not the garden one, because I can't find the garden one locally. But either one will do, I think. I mean, I've had no issue with the farm one. So anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am cautiously watching that little white butterfly over there because he wants to get in this tent. So I'm going to cover everything right now, and we will see you next time for the next planting project. Bye.